34 hours and 15 minutes until the Eagles kick off against the Dallas Cowboys and unveil the Super Bowl banner. Quick, Camiscioli from Philly Sports Talk here, along with Cade Gargano. We're going to preview the game, talk about some keys to victory, some things we need to prevent, and injury reports and whatever else we might think of. So, how we doing, Cade?
I'm good, Coy. How are you?
I'm stoked. This is awesome. Let's just get right into it. So again, we will unveil the Super Bowl banner with Dallas there. CeeDee Lamb's already come out saying he's going to watch it like a corny guy he is. The Eagles, Nick Sirianni said the players will not be out there for the unveiling of the banner. So just some interesting stuff there. It should be crazy at the link tomorrow night. It should be absolutely wild. So Kate, I can't wait.
Yeah, I know. And I peeked at the ticket prices, and it is outrageous how much they
Yeah.
are going for. It is like $600 before fees for each ticket to get into that game. It's honestly one of the most anticipated non-playoff games in a while. I feel like this is the first time Dak and Jalen have faced each other since 2023, which feels almost unbelievable.
Yeah. Um, I cannot wait. Kate, well, let's just get right into it. So we'll dive into injury reports first. There's nothing crazy going on. We originally were, kind of watching hard on the Eagles. Cowboys have nothing. They don't have really anything of interest for the Eagles. Tanner McKee, he did not participate with a thumb injury today, as of Tuesday, that is. Obviously, that's our backup quarterback. We like to think that we will not need him, hopefully. So um, I doubt he's going to play. Sam Howell will probably be the backup quarterback going to this game. Andrew Makuba and Landon Dickerson both practice in full, which is big time news. So they will both be out there. But I hope Landon's all right. Like I don't feel the need to rush Landon. I don't think they take the risk on bringing him back too soon. Obviously, he had the surgery, and then uh, he had a back injury that he was dealing with as well. So hopefully he's okay. And Kate, other than that, this was like a couple days ago, but still kind of interesting. Kobe Dean posted on his Instagram story that he'll see us all week 5. So when he's eligible to come off the pup list or so that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be huge, addition to the team. I think the linebacking crew is good, and I don't really think it's one of our weakest spots on defense by any means, but adding Kobe Dean to that rotation is going to be awesome, especially just to see him back since, the way his season ended last year against the Packers.
Yeah. So nothing really interesting there. We'll talk about the game for a little bit here. I expect the Cowboys to come out swinging a little bit. We might see, a couple deep balls or something like that. I think they want to get going early. I think they're going to want to try to silence the crowd a little bit. I think it's going to be crazy. It's not, I think, it will be crazy there. And obviously, they're in the most hostile territory while we're hosting or unveiling a Super Bowl banner. So I really think that they're going to try to find something to get going early. But other than that, they have George Pickens now, which is something interesting. They lose Micah Parsons, which I think is an absolute killer for them. It is an absolute killer for them. But this is kind of like the first time that this whole unit's kind of back together. And actually, when I say unit, more so Dak Prescott playing with this team. Obviously, he was hurt last year. So they might be a little rusty, but then again, so could the Eagles. It's week 1. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what Sirianni does if the Eagles win the coin toss, if they elect to receive or defer. If that place is going to be, like you mentioned, an absolute madhouse. I would like to see Sirianni elect to receive and just go down and score. Imagine the imagine the tush push opening
I
drive
know.
against Dallas, first drive of the season. That would be awesome. But I do agree. Dak played a few games last year. He didn't look great, but like we know, the year before he was third in MVP, and CeeDee Lamb had 1,800 yards, and they were clicking on all cylinders on offense, but their defense is very, very shaky.
Then we'll get right into our keys to victory because that's the first thing I have. It was to don't let them breathe defensively. I think our offense is way too much for them to be able to handle. Again, especially if Parsons gone, I think that's embarrassing. That's a whole other story. I already made a podcast about that. Um, but if our offense does what it's capable of, this game's over. It doesn't matter how good Dallas's offense is. Ours is better. Our defense is better. If we just do not let them breathe defensively and just run the ball down their throats and then here and there, I think there's a balance that we can find between rushing and pass. I think we could literally be 50-50 and they won't know what to do. It just, want to see what happens to Kevin Patullo as the new OC, what's going to be schemed up. But I have trust in this team that they're going to I think Dallas is in for a rude awakening, and I'll get that in. I'll get into that in my predictions later. That's my first key.
Yeah, my first key is just to win the turnover battle. I know it's pretty cliche to say that, but I think if the Eagles take care of the football and don't give Dallas, like you said, any breathing room or any free passes, I don't really think this game's close. I think we're going to have to force Dak into some turnovers, which we know he's susceptible to do, and we know Jalen can throw his fair share of like interceptions that make you scratch your head a little bit, but he was great at that last season, not turning the ball over. And if they don't fumble or throw interceptions or give Dallas any favorable field position, I think the Eagles win this game pretty easily.
Yeah, and let's get into our second key now. And this is Cade, the perks of recording in a conference room in Virginia. Let's turn this bad boy over. As you can see here, Dallas is on offense, right? Dallas is the U's, Philadelphia is the X's. My biggest key, limit here. CD right here. Don't let this happen. Don't let him get break tackles. Limit the usage in the middle of the field. Keep it to the outside. I will take the gamble on Pickens one-on-one if we have to. Obviously, a cover two play right here, just for an example. Limit here. Force it outside. I think the Eagles win defensively if they can do that and try and eliminate CeeDee Lamb from this game or limit him as Dallas already lost their best defensive player.
Is that John Gruden or is that Koi Camiscioli? I can't tell the difference. But no, I agree with you. We know CD's going to want to work in the slot. He's going to work his pre-motion or pre-snap motion. He's going to work his yards after the catch up the middle. So if we can prevent him from getting receptions in that area, like you said, I think it forces Dak to take more shots downfield. Maybe work over the seam with Jake Ferguson and anytime you have Dak throwing, I don't know, 15 plus yards instead of those little underneath to CeeDee Lamb, I think the better odds you have of making him turn the ball over.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really okay with living with Pickens like this, like with some deep balls here and there. It's CeeDee Lamb that's obviously the concern. Now, Cade here in this cover two play, who do you think is going to be right here on CeeDee?
Well, if he's in the slot, then I'm assuming it's going to be Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, so I like it for the Eagles. I do. I imagine we'll see in this situation, as you said, Quinion Mitchell will probably be on George Pickens. But that's enough of the whiteboard. There's really not much advanced stuff here. As the
I'm
season goes
assuming I'm
on,
assuming Dallas is going to want to work CD against Adoree Jackson more than anything. Unless if they
yeah,
move him to the outside, do you think Quinion Mitchell is going to just travel with them?
I think so. Quinion Mitchell started to travel a little bit in training camp and stuff. I think that they'll want him traveling, but who knows? Um,
Yeah, I really hope. I hope they're going to try to attack whoever the cornerback two is because that's our weakest position. It's interesting to see if they move Cooper DeJean to the outside at all this game, or if they keep him in the slot.
yeah, so as the season goes on, I'll utilize that whiteboard a little bit more and more for whenever I may use it for. Um, but Cade, those are my only two keys to the game. I think it's that simple. Don't let them breathe defensively because I think that's what our offense is capable of, and just limit the middle of the field. Try to eliminate the middle of the field for yards after catch, broken tackles, or free first down plays. Like you see it all the time, 1st and 10 or 2nd and 8 or whatever, and CD just gets an easy 10-yard pass that just goes for first down and sometimes more. So those are my two keys. Cade, do you have any more?
Yeah, before I get my second one, I think defensive coordinators for years have been trying to stop CD from getting over the middle of the field. So definitely easier said than done. But I agree with you. If they
Limit.
prevent him from limit him.
Yeah.
That's a better word. You're never going to be able to stop a player of his caliber, but definitely limit it. And my second key to the game is force Dak to pass. Like I said, if the Eagles can get pressure or even get an early lead and just whoever the running back trio that they have of Blue, Javante Williams, and Miles Sanders, if you could take them out of the game entirely and make Dak pass 45 times, I think the odds are definitely in your favor that he's going to make a mistake eventually.
I think that's going to happen too. I have concerns for their running back room. So, Kate, I think we're expecting that. Other than that, I don't have a third key. If you have one, say it now.
My third one's not really a key. It's just something to note. Micah Parsons is great. We know that he's one of the best players in the last, I don't know, half the quarter century. But Kenny Clark is a very good run stopper that they got in the package from Micah Parsons to the Packers. So I wonder if that changes not the game plan because obviously Saquon's still going to get his, but I wonder if that's like, hey, we won't have Micah coming off the edge, pressuring and disrupting passes anymore, and Kenny Clark's a pretty good run stopper, a lot better than Micah Parsons at least. So I wonder if Jalen throws the ball like 5 to 7 more times this game than we had planned 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, um, I agree. So we'll just have to wait and see. I also think Saquon might run wild because he didn't. If you guys remember, he didn't really have that insane of a Super Bowl. The Chiefs, that was the one thing they kind of did do well. They kind of bottled him up. I think he had like 23 carries, like 59 yards, whatever it was, which is like actually one of his worst rush like yards per carry, like on the season. Honestly, I can fact
Yeah,
check
the
that.
Chiefs are one of the best teams in the last few years of stopping the run in general last year on defense. So,
Yeah,
but
so I'm
his FanDuel line is at 95.5 yards, which is unbelievable.
I'm expecting him to go over. I think it's going to be a big game. I think all around it's going to be a big game. And Kate, with that, let's get into our predictions. I think it's going to be 34 to 21 Eagles, and I think Dallas is going to get a garbage time like touchdown or field goal or some sorts. I don't think Kate. I don't think this game is going to be close. I think Dallas is like an interesting team. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, but like I think that any team they play, they can give them a good game and maybe win it. But like I don't see them winning 4 games down the stretch in the postseason in a row. I don't think they're that good. Like I could see them beating the Chiefs on a given night. They could beat the Eagles on a given night. But I just think that I really think that the Micah Parsons trade was just. I just think it's so embarrassing when you have players voicing to social media like with these emojis like facing their palms and stuff like that, and talking about the saying like brother stuff like that, including your best players. There's a serious issue. There is a problem, and that defense, as you said, Kate, I agree, it's shaky. I don't think they're going to be able to stop us. I think the only reason why we lose this game is if it's just sloppy offensively entirely. But other than that, 34-21, again, I don't think it's going to be close. I think they might even get a garbage time touchdown to make it seem a little closer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have the Eagles also winning. I have the Eagles winning 34-27. So both kickers get 2 field goals each. Eagles score 4 touchdowns. Dallas scores 3. I do think that Dallas will score, like you said, the garbage time touchdowns. That's what they're known for. They're known for making their stats look good on paper when their games maybe not you know, maybe weren't great. But I do think Brian Schottenheimer as a first-time head coach has a lot to prove. This is kind of it was an interesting hire to say the least from Dallas. He feels, I don't know, he feels more like a puppet of Jerry Jones than he does a guy that the players are going to go in there and respect. So I think he's going to do things that make them earn his respect, like maybe a fake punt or maybe going for it on a fourth down that maybe he shouldn't statistically be going for. Like I think Dallas is going to do some things that prove that they have nothing to lose this season and they're just going to go for it. So I think that's you're playing with fire a little bit. I think they're like you said. I think they're a little not broken, but I think they're discouraged from the Micah Parsons trade. But I do think they're going to do some things that were like, wow, I can't believe they just did that. So I do think it'll be a little closer. I think it'll be more like the Packers game in Brazil last season where it's just a almost a shootout. And I like our chances in any shootout with the team that we have.
Yeah, I really don't have anything more to add. I'm trying to think of anything to say to stall this out because I need football here now. Um, I just really I think this team's going to win. I picked them to win the Super Bowl again in our preseason episodes. Um, I have nothing else. I just think we're head over heels better than the Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't mean we might come out sloppy Thursday night and somehow they might steal a win. And I would not be concerned either if that happened. It would just be a bad week 1. I think we'll, flush it down the toilet, get on with it. But I just don't see that happening. I think this team is going to roll right away. So, Kate, if you have any other thoughts, let me know.
No, I wouldn't take them necessarily lightly, but we both have them finishing third in the division for a reason. They're not a unbelievable team, but it's Dallas, it's Philly. Like
They
they'll
can
play each other
compete.
tough. Yeah, they'll play each other tough. It'll be a good game, but I definitely do think the Eagles win.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that's about it. We'll have a recap out more than likely on Saturday, maybe Friday. So stay tuned. And yeah, that's it. Go Birds, and we'll see you guys in a few days. Follow the Twitter for live updates. Philly Talks 2 underscores. We'll be having live updates. See you guys.